Previously on Life with Lewy.
I got most of the tree carved up. I got this vine and another vine. Well, while I'm waiting on my Amazon order to come in the mail, I decided to go ahead and make Gliffy a treehouse, otherwise known as a snack shack. Yep, it's all done. After the drywall dried, I painted them up. Now all I gotta do is water seal them. Then I can get the backgrounds done. And that is it. Alright, we got it all painted up. Alright, so it's been a couple days. Everything's dry. And as you can see, I installed some lights. And those lights, I really like. But more on those in a little bit. It's time to decorate this enclosure. Because I'm sure my dude Gliffy, he's ready to get settled. So this is going to be bioactive. And unlike the other bioactives I've done before, this one is going to have a drainage layer. So I'm going to start with my hydro balls. And then I'll put in a screen that will prevent the dirt from falling in the drainage layer. Next up, just to help reduce some odor, I'm going to use some activated charcoal. You don't have to have this for bioactive, but you probably should. Then for my dirt, I'll be using this Bioactive Terracotta. I've never used the Fata before, I always use the Firma. And then of course, I give it a douse of BioShot just to get the beneficial bacteria kick-started. And I'll sprinkle in some sphagnum moss all over just to help hold the humidity up. So it's time to get to work. First, I gotta clean my balls. My hydro balls. These things are pretty nasty when you first get them, so it's always a good idea to rinse them out with some clean water before you put them into your enclosure. Life hack number 5280. Pizza pan. Perfect strainer. And now my balls are clean. Alright, so the drainage layer is done, and the charcoal is in. Now I got to get the tree set straight. The tree turned out just a little bit too big after I did all the background and this stuff, so probably the background was a little bit too thick. Or the tree was too big. Either way, I got to get the tree position right, and I'm thinking I'm going to hot glue it in the background. Once it's set in there tight, I'm going to get the dirt around it, and the dirt will hold it in place. I mean, the only real issue I'm having is it's catching right here on the door if it's not pushed back just a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can get some glue on it to hold it back just a little bit. And then it won't be annoying scrubbing the door every time I open it. So I got the old trusty 20-volt hot glue gun warming up. Takes a little bit, so give it a few minutes. Get that tree stuck, and then I get the dirt in. I'm ready to see the plants in it. Who am I kidding? I'm ready to see Gliffy in it. Wow. I really like that terracotta. Alright, now we got the dirt in. Tree matted pretty good. I might add some glue to the back of that other limb in a minute. Eventually I'm going to have to take the top off to put one of the plants in. It's so fluffy. I finally got that plant there where I wanted it. I built a flower pot in the background where that plant would sit right over the roof of this little shed, just in case the gecko wanted to hang out on top. It felt like I had a little more security and privacy. But somehow in the process, that space got a lot tighter than I thought it was. And I don't know if it's sitting exactly where it was when I made it. But it's gonna work. Alright, so all the dirt's done. The plants are in. I stuck that one plant in the back because it was too big to fit anywhere else, and I just stuck it in a random spot. If I feel like it's not getting enough sunlight, or I just don't like it later, I'll take it out. But I like the extra greenery, breaking up the monotony of the background of the tree. I kind of wish I'd have done the tree a little bit lighter color now that I look at it. But it is what it is. I still got some vines and some fake foliage that I can put in there and add some greenery. So for now, one of the last steps, I'm going to get the sphagnum moss ready. This is a condensed brick, which is pretty cool. It doesn't take up near as much space. Nice for a tiny house. So I'm just going to cut a small part off, and I'm going to hydrate it in some water, and I'm going to hang some around the tree, and over this little shed, maybe some pieces on the railing, sprinkle some along the ground, around the plants to keep the humidity in, and I need to remember to put some of that plant up top. And the rest of this is going to go in the green tree python enclosure, and some human hides for some hog nose. Alright, not really what I'm used to. I don't know which brand I've been buying. It's a little bit different, but I like it. It's actually got a lot of green still left in it. And I'm telling you, this went a long way. That was a little bit that I pulled off. Oh yeah. That is just about it. It's going to look a lot better when those plants get a little more hydrated and grow up a little bit. But still looks pretty good. Now I also have some vines that are in the enclosure that he's in right now. And I might add them in here too. I'll do that at the end right when I put him in here. I'm just not sure if it's going to take up too much space and keep the light off the real plants down there. So we'll see. I'm just going to let it sit for a day or two. I'm going to wet down the cage a couple more times, and then I'll add him to it. Who knows? I might find something I forgot. Oh, yeah. I guess I did forget the bio shot. Alright, now there's one final touch I want to add to this enclosure. You saw me make the backgrounds. All I did was spray great stuff foam along the sides and go from there. So when you look from the outside, it's not exactly clean, but I got a plan for that. I bought a window film just to black it out, so it'll look nicer from the outside. Oh yeah, you see that? That's what I'm talking about. It's finally that time. It's been a couple days. The plants have settled. As you can see, I added a vine in. That's the one that was in his other enclosure, and he's been running on it a lot, so figured I may as well give it back to him. I think it looks cool. It might look real junked up, but that's how nature is, right? If you have a reptile enclosure and it's not that junked up, you probably need to add some more stuff to make these guys feel nice and comfy. He's fired down right now, but he sure is a cutie. Say, hey, Gliffy, Gliffy, Gliffy. And if you're wondering why his name is Gliffy, it's because of the hieroglyph pattern on his back. It's probably hard to see from that angle. Come here, good boy. Now for the long-awaited moment. This thing took way too long. Probably took me about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks to build this. I didn't work every day on it. In fact, the last week, I didn't work much at all. It was mostly just airing out to get the smells out. But there was just so many steps with all the different features. I mean, it took 2 or 3 days just to build a little hut. So just so many layers of drying time before I could move on to the next step. But at last, it's finally done. That'll just get better with age as the plants fill in. And hopefully my boy Gliffy from Zippies, Hopefully he really enjoys this enclosure. Hey, Gliffy, you want to go see your new house, good boy? I think you're going to love it. It's going to be easier to keep the humidity up. You see it? Doesn't that look pretty? Hold on, good boy. The door's not even open yet, buddy. Let's go see what it's like, buddy. You want to go see it? Look at there. Wow. What you think about that, Gliffy dude? It's a good-looking boy. Well, now that this is complete, I gotta give another big shout-out to my friends at Zippy's. Because obviously I couldn't have done it without you. Gliffy was a big surprise. So for those who didn't see, my friends at Zippy's were nice enough to give me a booth at the last Repticon show. And not only did they give me a booth to run my first show, they surprised me with a gecko. And he sure is a handsome fella. So like I said, big thanks to my friends at Zippy's. This dude is now living his best life. So I'm going to give you some final shots, and then I'm out of here, because I got to go feed some hog nose. The camera does no justice on this enclosure. I don't know if it's the LED lights, with the LED lights on the camera flashes. When you see this thing in person, it just pops. Anyway, let's check it out. Until next time, y'all have a good one. So I woke up this morning and I looked at this beautiful new enclosure, and I didn't see my boy Gliffy. Are you there, buddy? There he is. Hey, buddy. I see you found your tree.